Hello and welcome back to my channel.
Everyone, in this video, let us understand mushrooms. Mushroom is a large group of fungi, and the most common species of mushroom that is typical in this group is Agaricus campestris. Let us know the classification of Agaricus campestris. It belongs to the kingdom fungi, division Basidiomycota, class Basidiomycetes, family Agaricaceae. Any mushroom or any fungus for that matter is made up of the thallus, and the thallus is a mycelium. And there are different types of mycelia, and the mycelia are made up of individual units called hyphae. The hyphae are maybe cenocytic or septate with clamp connections. In the lower fungi, we have cenocytic hyphae. In the higher fungi, we have septate hyphae. In case of the members of Basidiomycota, the fungi are septate with clamp connections. Agaricus campestris, the most common mushroom, is a saprophytic fungus, commonly grows on damp wood, decomposing organic matter like humus, horse dung, etc. It comes out and it produces the basidiocarps from the humus, from the decaying soil during the early season of rains. Whenever the rains begin and whenever the soil becomes wet, the humus produces the fruiting bodies called agaricus. Whenever you come across a fruiting body of a mushroom, which is nothing but a basidiocarp, and you don't see the mycelium that is there hidden underground. Actually, the thallus of mushroom is hidden underground, and from the thallus, the fruiting body called basidiocarp arises. The mycelium, which is hidden underground, is actually originated from the germination of basidiospores. Basidiospores of two different types, plus strain basidiospore and minus strain basidiospores. Each of these types of basidiospores produce their own type of monokaryotic mycelium. The monokaryotic mycelia of plus strain and minus strain undergo plasmogamy, somatogamy. The process is known as dikaryoticization to produce a dikaryotic mycelium. A monokaryotic mycelium will have a single nucleus in each segment, in each septum, whereas a dikaryotic mycelium will have two nuclei in each septum, and the two nuclei is one is plus strain, the other one is minus strain. The dikaryotic mycelium grows underground in the soil, in the humus, and it becomes the rhizomorph. From this, the fruiting body called basidiocarp arises. The basidiocarp is made up of the following regions. The basal portion is called the vulva, from which arises a stem called stipe, and this at the top of the stipe or the stem we have the cap-like structure called pileus. Pileus is the cap, and the outer surface of the pileus or the cap there may be scales. On the undersurface of the pileus or the cap, there are radiating structures called gills or lamellae. On the stipe, that is the stem, there is a ring-like structure called annulus, which is nothing but reminiscent of the vellum. Vellum is the membrane which covers the entire basidiocarp when the basidiocarp is very young. So thus the basidiocarp or the fruiting body of mushroom is made up of the basal region called vulva, or also called sac, a stem-like structure called stipe, and a cap called pileus. On the stipe, on the stem, there is a ring-like structure called annulus, which is nothing but the reminiscent of the veil or vellum when the young basidiocarp, the vellum covers the entire basidiocarp. And if you see the internal structure of the mushroom or basidiocarp, the basidiocarp is made up of the dikaryotic mycelia. And the dikaryotic mycelia will have two nuclei of different structures. Coming to different parts of the basidiocarp, we have the cap. This is the topmost region of the basidiocarp, which is having different shapes, different structures, different colors, followed by the stipe. Stipe is the stem. This shape of the stem or stipe also varies from species to species. On the stem there is an annulus or a ring, and underside of the cap or the pileus there are radiating structures called lamellae. On the lamellae, which are actually drooping down from the lower surface of the cap, arise the basidia. Basidium singular, basidia plural, and each basidium produces 4 basidiospores. Out of these 4 basidiospores, 2 are plus strain, 2 are minus strain. These basidiospores will germinate and produce monokaryotic mycelium. So that the life cycle of agaricus or basidium or mushroom is beginning with basidiospores. 2 types of basidiospores are there, plus strain, minus strain. Each basidiospore will produce 1 type of monokaryotic mycelium. The monokaryotic mycelia of different types undergo somatogamy and plasmogamy. Somatogamy is fusion of 2 mycelia. Plasmogamy is fusion of the protoplasts of both, and later it leads to what is known as a dikaryotic mycelium. The process is known as dikaryotization, and this leads to what is known as a secondary mycelium. Primary mycelium is monokaryotic mycelium, secondary mycelium is dikaryotic mycelium. This secondary mycelium will produce what is known as the rhizomorph. From the rhizomorph arises the basidiocarp. Basidiocarp is the fruiting body. So at the time of the formation of basidiospores, the 2 nuclei that are there in each septum of the dikaryotic mycelium will undergo fusion. It's called karyogamy. So 2 haploid nuclei arising from the monokaryotic mycelium will fuse to form a diploid nucleus. And this diploid nucleus fuses in the young basidium, and this diploid nucleus immediately undergoes meiosis to produce 4 haploid nuclei, and all these 4 haploid nuclei result in the formation of 4 basidiospores. Thus the life cycle of agaricus or mushroom is completed. There are so many types of mushroom. Some of the mushrooms are edible, and some of the mushrooms are highly poisonous, and many mushrooms are neither poisonous nor edible. So whenever you come across a mushroom, please be very careful before consuming it, and preferably if you want to consume a mushroom, please buy it from the market and then only consume it. There are a number of poisonous mushrooms. One most common poisonous mushroom is Amanita. Thank you very much for watching this video. We will meet again in the next class with some other topic. Thank you very much.